Welcome back to another episode of Elevated Dialogue. Today we have a special session, a special episode today. Today is just myself and Coach, but we have special guest Toni, who has been on the show before, and Alonzo. Toni and Alonzo were married for a few years, for many years. I'll let them tell you a little bit more about it, but we're going to start off with having them talk to us a little bit about, or explain to us a little bit about where they met, how they got started in their relationship, their marriage a little bit, and then we're going to fast forward a little bit into kind of sort of where they are today when it comes to their relationship.
We started at William Fleming because we went to William Fleming High School together.
High school, okay.
And Alonzo was always a nice guy and everything. And I gave him a chance because it just seemed like people just would put him off to the side. You know, he made it seem like, he wasn't getting the ladies like he was.
Mm-hmm. he was acting.
Yeah, he was putting on the show. But he was always kind to me. And then I would see him working at McDonald's and then K&W. He would always work. And then one night I invited him over and he never left. He went and got his clothes and he came and he never left.
So you made your first move.
Yeah, he was like going through some things at home, and I was a single woman and I was already out on my own. So I was lonely. So what it was that having females wasn't his problem. It was just getting away from what was going on within his household. And then by me being lonely, it's like he fulfilled that. So we both fulfilled what each other needed, but a woman wasn't what he needed. So, but, like I said, we both fulfilled what each other wanted, and I wanted the companionship. So he fulfilled that for me. So then we just, he worked and everything, and we just went on from there. And then I fell into a depression because I had lost my space then. You start going through things and it's like, what have I done? But I learned a lot from him. He learned a lot from me, and we pulled his family together and we prayed together and stuff. What made me get married was we was going to church all the time. Every time the doors were open, Wednesdays, it could be open Saturday, Sunday, we was there. So I felt guilt because the pastor, get to talking to you and it feels like he's talking to you. And, what if God came right now and, you laying beside this man and you ain't married to him and, all that stuff. So Alonzo and I have been together for a long time. We was together for 11 years before we got married. But the thing was, I pressured him into getting married. What? It was just like, we've been living together for this long and, we need to get married. Well, we already paying bills and stuff like that. But to him, it was like, it's just a piece of paper. I'm here. What more do you want from me? And, I can understand that. But to us women, for some reason, that paper means something. It's like we have something hanging over y'all's head. Like, yeah, I'm Mrs. Bex. You don't know? You better ask somebody.
Yeah, I hear you.
So we did, but then we stayed married for 4 years, and then after that, I filed for the divorce because we both had a lot of growing up to do, and I didn't know what marriage was. Everybody has their own concept of what marriage is. So I had mine and he had his way of doing things. And I know that he wasn't ready. And, some people just not marriage material where I look at myself as being marriage material. But Alonzo is a free spirit person, I guess you could say. So, he doesn't like to be tied down. He just like to be Alonzo. Can't you just let me do what I want to do and just leave me alone? That's the type of person he is. Okay. But he looks out for me and everything. And that's the thing that confuses me. When you go through so much with a person, and then because I thought getting a divorce was, okay, you get a divorce, bye. but it didn't end up like that. And it's like every time I ran into trouble or something, there he was to bail me out. It was no family there, nobody there. It was him. So, um, I fast forwarded, but yeah, we never got to actually sit down and talk to learn each other and to know what did he really want. Like I said, he was in a bad situation. So when you meet somebody that got their own car, you no longer have to ask your mom, can you take me to work to McDonald's or deal with her mess and you having to walk to work. Then you meet some girl that got everything. It's like you didn't hit the lotto. You don't have to walk to work no more because I mean, Alonzo know me. I have a big heart, and I'm like, well, you could take my car or I'll take you and drop you off and pick you up, So that lightened the weight up on him without having to deal with his mom stuff and not knowing, well, will I be able to stay home tonight or she's going to lock me out the house tonight? Just
Hmm.
those type of dysfunctional things that we deal with in a household when our parents make poor
Say
choices.
you.
Well, we met and um, wow, it's a long time ago, and I was going through a storm, and I felt that she fulfilled a need, and we linked up, and it was fun and everything, and 11, 12 years go by, and her niece invited us to church. And I never forget the pastor said, if you're good enough to shack up with, you're good enough to get married. And I felt convicted, later on we got baptized and we got married, and then things changed because I'm me growing up in a household to where you have different, you see one parent dating different people in and out. There's like no like ground set stability there. My dad was never in my life. And so then when me and Dartonia got married, it was like I had to be the man and step up, but I didn't know what I know now of having the foundation and the grounds, and you can't do this, you can't do that.
Hmm.
You gotta throw away all your old playing roles and having this girl, that girl, and all that stuff, and and I had to grow out all that stuff.
How does you
We're good,
guys work relationship work today?
we're good today. She has her place, I have mine, and there's times when I told her, as long as I have, because I've been very overwhelmingly blessed, and I told her I'm not gonna let her struggle. Where if she's dating somebody and they can step up to the plate, and if her car breaks down or she needs this or money for gas or whatever, I got her. Even if I'm with another woman or my situation, I'm still not gonna let her struggle. I'm dating somebody now, and I still look out for her because I'm not gonna let her fall by the wayside.
Hmm.
I refuse to do that because we grew up together and we struggled so hard together.
Because I learned a
Hmm.
lot within the past few minutes. Um, I think my biggest learning curve was what Alonzo shared, that he didn't have his father.
Hmm.
And so I'm in the same boat, right? And I think that's significant because I don't know, and I don't want to put words in your mouth. By all means, correct me. Is by you sharing that you didn't have your father, or you saying you didn't have that role model, you didn't see how a man would normally treat his wife or whatever. Is that what you're saying? Is that what you're
Right.
sharing?
I didn't see that.
Yeah, yeah, and so that's significant. That is significant, especially for us men, um, because we're left to just try to figure it out. And then, Tony, if you don't mind me asking, were both your parents at home when you were growing up?
Um, they were together for a long time, but I didn't really have a father either because he
Mm,
ran the streets. He was just there long enough to check in like a hotel
mm,
and then back out. And so we had to deal with the frustration of my mom turning to alcohol and stuff. But she was a functioning alcoholic, the one that can work 40 hours a week and get it in on the weekends.
absolutely. Yeah.
So it was a time that I wish that my daddy never did come back
Oh wow.
because it was always chaos
Yeah.
in the home because of his background. He didn't have no father to really teach him how to be a man either. So it's just one of those generational curses,
Yeah.
and you just trying to learn the best you can as you go.
Yeah. So that is revealing. Just knowing that bit of information, which leads me to one other question, if you don't mind, Uncle Junior. Um, Somebody, I think it was Tony, you mentioned that you guys never had the talk. If you guys had the talk, if you could turn back the hands of time and have that talk now, what would that talk consist of? Just out of curiosity.
It will consist of what is it that he's looking for in a woman? What is the motive that he has for me? Because people don't realize we always have a motive, whether it's good or bad. We have a motive. And what type of foundation does he have set up for himself as an individual?
Yeah.
And also, what is his belief? Do he believe in God? I think that's very important that we have a relationship with God as an individual, because you can't help but to reap the benefits if someone does have a relationship with God as an individual,
Yeah.
as well as together. I think that's very important. Me and Alonzo pray together. I started the praying, and I remember his mother told me, where he doesn't believe in God. And I said, really? That's funny, because I don't have a problem with getting Alonzo to pray. I mean, that's the prayer warrior right there.
All right now.
I go through things, and sometimes I'm crying on the phone, because I'm here to tell you, him and I, we talk about 2 to 3 times every day on the phone.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Alonzo, I'm going through something. And he's
Yeah.
like, oh, come on, don't turn on the sprinklers.
There you
And I'd be just a crying.
Yeah.
And he'd be like, okay, we going to pray. And then sometimes I don't even feel like praying, And he said, we going to pray anyway.
Yeah.
So,
I love it.
yeah, we have molded each other in a lot of ways,
Yeah.
But the hurtful thing to me is, and I know I have to let it go, but it's because we didn't make it. We struggled so hard, and we just couldn't make it.
I'm almost certain we're going to talk about that here later. At least if we can, if we have the time, and if you guys are willing to. Lonzo, if you don't mind me asking, sir, same question I asked her. If once you can turn back the hands of time and have that conversation, what would you talk about from your perspective?
One of the things I would talk about would be far as like what our expectations are, rather than we just hooking up and just surviving from day to day.
Right.
Lay out a game plan and both be going in that same direction.